Welcome to another video from Dr. Locke. So this is the old girl, this is the Silca Unocode. Now, I've been using one of these machines for many years, especially when working with different bosses, and it's a very, very popular machine. Back in the day, it cost about as much as a new car, 20 something thousand. And this particular one here I picked up a while back. And when I picked it up, I did a key count and only had done 5,000 keys. Now, this particular machine, I've seen them go into about the 1 million range. So if it's only done 5,000, I've got plenty of use left on it. There is a few downfalls to this particular machine, and there is a few things that it lets it down. And one of which is it's only got a storage of about 500 different cards on it. And the cards are the different type of makes and model of keys. So you select the card you want, and then you put in your cuts, and you can cut. So what we're going to do today is we're going to turn this 25-year-old Silca Unocode into a Silca 399 or Silca 299. Anyway, we're going to basically upgrade it. And what we're going to do to upgrade it is basically just give it a few of the features that one of the new ones have. Now, I'm not really in the mood to spend 40,000 for a new one, and this one still has plenty of use left in it. Now, my sales rep said, "Oh, that's old technology, why don't you just buy a new one?" I thought to myself, well, hang on, it's done 20 years without a problem. Even though it's old technology, it's a proven technology. It's not going to give me any problems. So I thought, well, no, I'll stick with it. Although the new ones have sensors and this and that, they do the same thing in the same way. So I'm thinking, no, I can stick with it. Worst case scenario, there might be a few more button pushes and things like that. So anyway, let me break down what I'm going to do to it. Okay, so now this is my half bench. This just comes out from underneath the key machine, slides in, slides out. It's just the top of a thing on a couple of rollers. Really works well when I'm cutting keys, by the way. I'll show you more about that later. Alright, so off eBay, I picked up a new tablet. This one here, it's about a hand span, so big, 80 bucks. No big deal. I picked up this USB, it's a COM port to Bluetooth. But I spent a good 3 or 4 hours last night trying to get that to work. Couldn't get it working. Useless. Okay, then we have a few cables. We have ourselves a $20 cradle. We have ourselves a COM port to USB adapter. See that? We also have some funky little adapters here. This one here is USB to USB, both male. This one here is, if I can show it to you, micro USB to USB, so the mini micro male to the female standard USB, and then we have the USB to the to female USB. And I know what you're thinking, you know, 2 is better than 1, but no, because you've only got one prong. See, only got one. But in this scenario, it works well. So the way we're going to hook this up is we're going to start off with this micro USB, throw that in the side here. So now we're coming out into standard USB. From the standard USB, I'm going to jump over to the double USB. So now I've got a double USB going on. From there, I'm going to plug in a standard USB cable to micro. Is that right? No. First one here I'm going to plug in is... Okay, so basically now this plug, so this is USB to USB 3.0. So this USB goes into this female USB, goes into this one, and then goes into the tablet here. So on the other side, the other USB, we're going to plug that into the COM port adapter, like so. And then we're going to get the COM port coming out of the Unicode, like so, plug that in there. So now all we need to do is plug this in, or plug this into a power pack, and then we have power. That will power the tablet, and basically whenever we turn it on, power will come down the tablet and turn the tablet on. Now I do have a few little bugs that I'm trying to sort out with this tablet. What I'd like it to do is to turn off when I turn the USB power off and turn on when I turn the USB power on. Now it has been done, certain Androids can do it. This particular one's running Windows 10, and I'm still struggling to find out how to do that. So that's something of the project I'm probably going to complete later on. For now, what I might do is just use both of them on a double adapter and flick the switch, and worst case scenario, it just means that I actually have to push the button to turn it on, which is not too big a deal. But anyway, let's get started. Let's get building. Okay, so step number 1 is to identify all the parts on this particular machine. We've got my calculator, we've got my annoying inertia balls. We'll put them on there just for now, just to drive you crazy. So this is our first test here, where this is like a cradle. So we need to put this somewhere. Although the machine doesn't really have anywhere to kind of clamp it on, there's going to, we're going to have to try and find somewhere to to make that kind of work, whether or not I use it on the bench or go. Actually, I can probably go underneath the bench for that one. Okay, so that's where our tablet will be sitting. Oh, actually off camera there, didn't realise. Okay, so basically just put that clamp in just under the bench, and it's just a bit of plastic in there, so it's nothing much. Now I'm going to mount the tablet. Now I'll probably mount it this way with the button at the top. Let's pull that out. A bit stringy. Okay, so we're good there. Alright, so from the side of the machine has a printer port, a 25 prong printer port there, as you can see. That comes out and goes down into RS232, I believe, the standard COM port configuration. So this one here. So that's just going to need to come down the front. I can tuck all this away afterwards. I just want to show you this working system first, and then we can tidy it up later on. So from there we go to a COM port to USB converter, just like so. From there we're going to go to the double USB to the single USB, and then this you don't know how much time I spent looking through my arsenal to find this, and I did. So I plug that one in there, and I plug this one in here. Now I'll tidy up all these wires later on. For now, I'm not too worried. So the other USB I'm going to supply power to, and I'll just grab some power for that one. So the easiest power I can get right now is just a power pack. So I'm just going to plug that in there. Okay, power is now going out. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a quick look at what we're kind of up against here. So we've got the machine, and basically it never came with a screen. It's only got the little tiny touch screen in the corner. So you're probably thinking, if it's already got a screen, what do you need the screen for? Well, what I found is that every time I want to turn this machine on, I actually have to go to my computer, load Instacode, plug in the USB, and I've actually had to use a 10 meter USB to plug it in, because where I've got this machine and my computer are two different locations. I originally tried running a USB over Cat5 or Cat6, but for some reason it kept getting interference and it kept disconnecting USB, so it was a real battle connecting to it all the time. Same with the 10 meter USB. It would be on, then all of a sudden you hear the computer go da-dun, 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 da-dun. And I thought to myself, it's just getting so annoying. I would prefer it if I just had Instacode on this particular machine. So for the Instacode right here, what I've done is I've got the download link from Instacode. Each time they give you an upgrade, they actually give you a download link. They don't actually send the CD out now. So this actual tablet is running Windows 10, and that was perfect for it. So I just basically downloaded Instacode, activated it over the internet, and there was no troubles putting Instacode on this tablet. Getting the tablet to talk to the machine was a little bit more tricky, and after a few settings and things, it didn't seem so bad. One of the biggest dramas I had was actually getting a COM port recognised for the USB. Sorry. And another problem I'm still working on is the power on and power off when you're flicking it on by PowerPoint. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm still going to work on that. So when USB power is applied here, it'll turn it on. When USB power is taken away, I want to turn it off. So that way I can run the machine and the tablet from one PowerPoint, run a remote control PowerPoint, push one button, this will turn on, and then this will turn on as well. So that's a little bit more convenient. Of course, you still have boot up time for the tablet, but at least while the machine's on, the tablet's charging and it's turning off once you finish with it, so it should stay fairly charged. Alright, so it's time to get ready and give it a run and show you what it can do. Okay, so back again. So basically, I've just basically plugged it in, and I'm going to take you through a few of the specs and tell you the difference between old one and a new one. Now, to start off with, the price is always a big thing. If you can get an old one and it's within your budget, you know, $4,000 or $5,000, $10,000, then that's better for you. Often buying these types of machines take a lot to pay back. I mean, just to buy it wholesale, you're talking 35,000 AUSD, which is a lot of money for most people. Right, so this particular machine here, the cutters are long lasting. The newer ones do have slightly better cutters and lower temperature, things like that. So yes, the cutters have improved, but on saying that too, these type of cutters aren't that bad. They've been doing the job for 20 years, and this one here still cuts a key very quickly, very sharply, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's look at some of the features on the newer machine. Faster cutting cycle with more torque. Okay, yeah, faster cutting cycle, that's fine, but is that necessary in my scenario? Probably not. Adjustable cutting speed plus or minus 30%. Well, okay, I haven't really had any issues there, so I don't really feel that's something that's going to make or break my decision. Long lasting cutter, aluminium, chrome, it's hard to read, and nitrate coating. Basically lowers the temperature on the cutting. I've never had a cutter overheat or give me any troubles. These cutters, they last quite a long time. They cost a lot, but they last quite a long time. So cutter I'm not going to worry about. Reinforced structure of the machine reduces vibration, making Unicode Pro stable and quiet. So we're talking the brand new one compared to the older one. Okay, well this one originally did actually have a shield to go over the front, and it just basically got in the way and broke off, and I've never even bothered replacing it because I never really needed to. So it could be a little bit more quieter. As far as stability, this thing's rock solid. It's heavy. It isn't moving. Adjustable feet on it. You can get it to where you want it. As far as noise, as long as your feet are your vibrate, your little rubber feet are all down properly and you're on a good solid bench, there's not that much noise anyway. This machine's quieter than my Futura in my van, so it's also faster as well. Four-sided nickel plated long life lasting clamps. Well, these ones here are 25 years. There's not a scratch on them. A little bit of surface rust if you want, but nothing a spray of WD-40 is not going to solve. They're not rusting away. They're not going anywhere. They still hold perfectly, and they still do everything they're meant to be doing. Large 144mm LCD. Well, we now have that. We have that. What else we got here? Well illuminated work area by lights. If I wanted to, I could even run a USB light off my tablet here and just have, instead of having 2 USBs, I have 3, so when I turn it on I could have power here. I could quite easily get some sort of magnet or do something like that, but lighting has never really been my issue. I've never had a problem with the issue of lighting, so that's something I probably wouldn't even worry about. Software management and machine and cutter maintenance. Okay, well, I do have a maintenance function in there, and that's software on the actual machine. I don't really need it. I've got Instacode. You see, right here, Instacode. Bang, Instacode February 2020. I've got more information on this, and I can simply just turn on Wi-Fi, get all my updates, have more codes on this than I would probably on the Silca one. Everybody uses Instacode, and it's a lot easier just to basically search it up here. I mean, I've got more references, I've got key comparisons. This is a far superior product, this program, than what I've seen on the Silca database, in my opinion. So I've got more. Okay, key cut counter. I've got that. Software management. All exposed screws are made from stainless steel for better resistance for longer life. This is a 25-year-old screw. Got a little bit of surface rust, but I've taken covers and things off. Screws are still good. I don't know how long you expect a screw to last for, but here's a screw. I reckon they're going to be good in 20 years, maybe even 30. But screws don't really go anywhere, so that's not a selling factor. Tray to stop the swarf. Okay, well, to be quite honest, when this had a shield, there was less swarf flying around. The other ones have a little collection port on the side. I understand that, but that's no big deal. What I use to combat my swarf is what a lot of people use, one of these things. I know what you're thinking, that's like really high tech and all, but yeah, you just go like this, like all your other key machines, and just sort it. And you still have to do that on the new one anyway, realistically. It's not going to always catch brass in the exact spot. You're always going to get brass everywhere. And that's the thing with key machines. You've got to clean the sensor, you've got to clean your guide, you've got to clean your track. Same. Okay, 1 USB port, 1 RS232. We've got a printer port down to, well, I've got a USB and I've got an RS232. Okay, cool. Alright, so basically that's just the specs from that one onto this one. Now here's the machine. Now, to set up Instacode to work with this machine, there's a few things I had to do. One of which was actually put in the software for this USB cable here, a USB to COM port cable, and then I had to find it on the actual tablet and make sure that I was running the right driver for it. Once I ran the right driver, it was no big issues just to go into setup and then just go to machine. And then from the machine I select Silca Unocode, I go to properties, I put in my serial number, I select my port, push read version, and basically from there you're good to go. I just turn the machine on now, read version. Oh, not yet. Nope. Okay, so we are here, sorry, wrong port selected. That's right, and I've got this on V2. Select the right port. The only downside to this is that it's got a small screen. Okay, so now we're connected. I see version 1. You know, you should be able to zoom up and all, and there are probably some things you can do. If I was successful in running this Bluetooth adapter, this would eliminate me needing to plug in this particular cable. So I could literally walk around the workshop with my tablet in hand and talk directly to it and just go bang, bang, and hold this in my hand. But because I wanted to use this in a way that I could walk up to it, turn it on like the brand new machine like this, put a code into the code-based database like this. Okay, so now it's time to take this for a test drive. So let's just go back to the start. Okay, so here we have our code. So I'm just going to put in a new code here. The keyboard pops up, and I'm just going to put in 92116, and that's Lower and Fletcher. And then I can just hit enter. It's going to do a search. It's found the right one. I can double click it, or I can use the keyboard. One of the issues I just had a little technical hitch just then is I was using the wrong USB. So I configured it all to work on one USB, then I swapped them around, did on another USB. So one of the things with this particular setup is that once you get your COM port set, you just use it the same way each and every time. It's going to save you less issues. So now it's all ready to go. All I need to do, there's my key, there's everything. I just need to load a key, go to cut key, go finished. The information has now been sent over to the machine. Normally if this was one complete unit, it would basically start cutting. But the information is now set to the machine, so you just push enter, enter, and you just push start. So that will cut that key. Now I don't know about you, but I find that pretty fast. Okay, so now we have the next thing we're going to do, and a lot of these new machines, they've got decode functions. So let me just find a key here real quick. Here's a key. Here's my decoder, here's my laser. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And now I go to decode, and I push next. Oh, sorry. You got to put this back to waiting for computer data. So that's the one thing you do have to do. You have to clear it each time. Next. Come up here, it says ready to decode. Enter, enter, start. So it's just a key blank. It'll come up with all zeros. No match specified. So I'll just get rid of that screen there, and basically no codes to decode, because that's actually a blank. Alright, to prove my theory, let's stop this. We'll go stop, it's waiting for computer data. We're going to put in a Silca keyblank LW4 card 405, and we're going to go finished, invalid bidding. So okay, let's use one that's got proper bidding. Back, and we're going to just get rid of all this. Where's clear? I'm going to go Lockwood, LOCKWOOD, enter. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to find 405. Oh, these are all Instacode cards. So where's the one we want? I mean, it's an easy one to find. Okay. Key blank, Silca. There we go. And we're going to put in 405. Enter. So now that's our same key blank we put in, so we'll just double click on that. Double click on that. Okay. So that's what it normally looks like. We put in a standard house key there. Go decode. Start. Oh, waiting for computer data. Waiting. Yep, it's ready to go. Next. Okay, it's sent the request to decode. Enter. Enter. Start. And the information's come back to the screen. Finished, and there's our code on screen. 41035. 41035. Yep, that looks right. So basically, there is a few more steps. Basically, you're using Instacode here, and every time you want to send the information to the Unicode, it has to be waiting for computer data. and like you've just seen now, we can send information to it and we can also receive information back from it. So the advantages of just having a simple little tablet running this machine now is comparative to having a brand new machine. What makes the brand new machine so good and rock solid is that you're getting the latest of the latest, and you can do more functions. But with this old school machine and this $80 tablet, this $80 tablet, a $10 cable, a $20 comms USB, and a USB adapter, I can pretty much control my Unicode now and do almost just the same as what everyone else is doing, and it's cost me nothing for an upgrade. Even my tablet here, the one thing I'm missing is the stylus pen because my fat fingers aren't working too well. Another couple of things I need to work out is just how to turn this tablet on and turn it off via the power that's supplied, and it can be done. So what I initially want to do is leave this on and turn it off via the power point, and that will then set this to off, leave that. When I flick it again, the machine's going to come alive. This is then going to boot up. Booting this up too is comparative to the Futura. You know, when you turn it on, you normally get a screen, flick it, and there you go. You can also make Instacode load as soon as the computer loads, so it just basically loads the program and the program's ready to go. That's yet another thing I've been trying to do, but I've been having a few glitches getting that working as well. But in theory, what should happen is you flick the switch on the PowerPoint, the tablet starts up, it loads up Instacode as its first program, brings it up to the home, so you know, basically so that you're back here. That can be done. And also when the power is removed, it should turn itself off, and then once again the machine will go on and off as well. The machine is run by a little power switch on the side, so you know, basically operating it by the mains power switch shouldn't be too big an issue. It's a bit of a dinosaur, but in saying that too, it's still running and it's still going good, and by giving it this small upgrade means that I don't have to run a big huge USB cable over to my computer. Every time I was running a USB over to my computer, it was getting annoying, and every time I got to boot my computer up, the thing takes 5 minutes to boot up. That's annoying too. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to streamline it and get it to the point where you walk up to it, basically either push one button and everything starts to boot up in about a minute, or you basically push that, boot it up, push Instacode, start with your key search and key program. So that's my video on upgrading the Unicode to a Unicode 399. Well, kind of a Frankenstein dinosaur equivalent, but I'm pretty happy with it. I can do car keys, I can decode car keys, I could you know, do master key systems, put in my codes directly in there. I'm not using this little tiny screen. This little tiny screen is good, but you have to remember you're limited to 500 cards. I'm limited to the amount of cards which are on Instacode. So this is by far the better brain out of them too. This does all the heavy lifting, this does all the thinking. So marrying them up together makes good sense in my opinion. Leave your comments down below what you think if you're going to do this to your machine. I'll try and leave some links down in the description of where I bought the parts from, and you know, hopefully I've told you enough here to help you if you wanted to do this, just to get your machine up to a level. You know, even the tablet just sitting there as well, it's not really in the way. Grass is not going to fall over it. It's rugged enough, and I think, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like cars. They all came out with our GPSs. We all started sticking these GPSs on the dash. This is the kind of same scenario. They came out without it, now we stick this on. I mean, if I want, I can sit here and watch Netflix while I'm cutting keys. I just blow that down, and if I'm cutting 100 keys, I could just bring up Netflix, you know, watch a bit of Netflix while I keep reloading. I need to go to the next code. No problems. I'll just bring back Instacode. I can even receive messages on this too if I want. If I'm sitting here cutting up a master key system, I'm here for a little while, have a little SMS or a Zello or something like that pop up. It's even got a camera as well. So the tablet for $80 is a dead set bargain. If you've already got an Instacode subscription, why not? If you've got another license, why not? Just download it, put it on there, and now if somebody walks into your shop and they say, oh, I've got a brand new so-and-so, no problems. What's the key code? Put it in. It'll send the information down to this and cut it. Even if this machine has no card, even if 20 years ago that car wasn't invented, if this has the data, it'll send the data to here, turning it into a more powerful machine. Definitely a good upgrade. Okay, thanks for watching.